Abigail. Hey, congratulations on your new series, Extended Family on NBC.
Thank you so much. Thanks for promoting it. We want people to watch it.
And I have watched it myself, and it's a very funny series. But we have to hear it from you. Is what initially drew you to this project?
Well, I would say the writing. I mean, at the end of the day, every project to me is the writing and the team behind it. And when I read it, I was like, I am Julia. I must play her. And if I feel that way, I definitely run towards something. But you know, Mike O'Malley is an incredible actor writer. He and I actually acted on a show together, but never met, a show called Wayne. And we'd kind of been circling each other. And so I read with him initially. I auditioned for the part. I'm not known for comedy, even though I've done quite a bit. And I wanted to do comedy. I wanted a half hour multicam in front of a live studio audience, but I wanted it to be great, and I wanted it to be about something that was meaningful to me. And I think the show is about family, and that there's another way to become a family when there's divorce and children and exes and new partners involved. And I just thought it did all of that really beautifully. And I had no idea that it was inspired by real life people. That was a bonus. They were like, and this is who your character is inspired by. I was like, what? It's this is real. So that was, I mean, it just kept getting better and better.
Yeah, that was one of the personal discovery that I didn't know as I was in attendance of the TCA recently that it was actually based on the actual owner of the Boston Celtics and his family dynamics.
Yeah, yeah. So Wick Grousbeck, who is the owner of the Boston Celtics, his wife Amelia, who inspires my character Julia, her ex-husband George, who John's character Jim is inspired by, they are living this life together. Amelia and George have two kids, and they got a place called the Nest, and the kids go there and they took turns, and then, having this like a way to do divorce differently. And then what happens when you meet someone new, and he just happens to be the owner of the Boston Celtics, who just happens to be her ex-husband's favorite team. So I mean, it writes itself, gig.
Now, we all know that you do a lot of dramas, and you said it yourself.
And I'm very dramatic. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
and this is a career turn for you, but how do you find the comedy chemistry, working alongside like John and Donald in something
Mhm.
like this?
Well, how do you find it? How do you think it's going?
Well, you know, I was gonna say, John and Donald has been doing this for a very long time, and
Yeah.
I don't want to say you're the third wheel, but
Mhm.
in extended family, I guess technically it's almost like three wheels.
Yeah, I'm the rudder. They orbit around me. I am the sun, and everything moves around. I mean, it's been extraordinary. I've known Donald a long time, and John obviously is a titan in the field. And I think that's something really beautiful when you talk about chemistry. It's not all having the same. It's bringing all of the wildly different, molecules together to create something new and special. And I think that's what we do. I mean, Don and John and I, we have all very different processes, but for some reason it seems to work really well. Well, who's that behind you? Got your little kitty cat?
Yeah, there's a cat here. That's Cher.
Of course it is. Could she turn if she could turn back time? It's funny you say that because I keep pitching Cher to play my mother on the show. I want her to come on and us do some sharing.
Well, that's already on your list. Well, thank you for
Oh yeah.
remembering.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Now, what about working with children? Is that something different for you?
No, I mean not for me. I've played mothers before, and I've worked with a lot of incredible actors of all ages and stages. And actually, Joey King played my daughter in a pilot that I did for NBC years and years ago. And I mean, they're extraordinary. Like Sofia and Finn, who play our kids on the show, we really lucked out with them. And what I notice about it too is to remember that they're young and forming, and there's a gentleness, like there's a real sweetness that it brings to the set. Because it keeps us remembering us at that age and knowing that this is a family environment. I think it's very sweet.
Now, yeah, I know you've done a lot of series, for television and so on, and pardon me if I don't get the lingo right, single cam, multicam, live studio audience. And I
Mhm.
understand this is what a live studio audience taping. Is this an adjustment for you, or is this something, kind of surprising that you have to get used to?
Well, let's ask Cher in the corner there. Um, look, I started out in theater, and yes, so this format of our show, it harkens back to the good old days of sitcom, Mary Tyler Moore, All in the Family. I mean, Seinfeld, Friends, they were all Cheers, all shot in front of a live studio audience. So that's what we do on Friday nights. We put on a show, we rehearse all week. Everything keeps getting workshopped and workshopped. We pre-shoot a little bit and then we do the live show on Friday. And it is an adjustment. Luckily, I started out in theater, and so I love the relationship to the audience, but it's an interesting hybrid to have the audience, but also have the camera right here. You're really walking a tightrope when it comes to performance and comedy. And it's given me like tremendous respect for everyone who's been doing it before and doing it well. I find it incredibly challenging and also wildly fun. And I've done a couple sitcoms before. I did How I Met Your Mother and another show called How to Be a Gentleman, but they didn't have live studio audiences. They were the same format. It adds another dimension to it, and I love it.
So how do you keep yourself from laughing at this,
I
particularly?
don't. I
Yeah.
do not keep myself from laughing. That's part of the fun of it is like, and also the crew laughs, the audience laughs. Like it was when we were shooting the first episode, and we were literally shooting the first episode. The pre-shoot before the audience got there and the crew laughed. I was like, I'm in the middle of a scene. Why are you laughing? And they're like, no, 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 we're the audience. We're supposed to. And I'm like, this is so exciting. So it was little things like that. And I remember when we were shooting our first live show, the audience kept laughing when I didn't expect them to. And I was just like, I am talking. I am in the middle of a scene, and so as John and really talks about, it's the rhythm, like that becomes part of the rhythm and also the keeping ourselves from breaking because we are really trying to make each other laugh and also allowing, if that happens, it happens. But recently, because we just finished shooting a couple weeks ago, season 1, and John and I were shooting a scene, and because you also never know what's going to kill. It's like what's gonna kill, and he and I were shooting. It was one of the opening scenes of the show, and he just said this line and it killed. I mean, the audience laughed for a very, very long time. I mean, it felt like, 12 minutes. It was probably 12 seconds, but it just feels like forever. And just standing there, you have to sit in it. And then knowing that what I'm going to say is going to get another laugh and you just have to sit in it. It's hard work. Thanks for noticing.
That is wonderful. You are in a wonderful series of extended family, Abigail. Thank you very much for speaking to us about it and crossing fingers that there will be a second season and
Yes, thanks.
hopefully
And toes. Thanks, Gig. I appreciate it.
appreciate it. And Cher also says goodbye. Never,
If
never
I
work
could
with animals.
turn back time. Do you sing that to her every night?
I will now. Thank you.
Yeah, oh, good. Okay, good. Report back.